Destination Asia, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. And with us now is Mr. Patrick Chase. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to talking Indochina with you all. Even though I've only got 10 minutes, I can usually go for hours, but I will mind my time today.
All right.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, everyone. Well, thanks for joining us today, and excited to be part of the Goway Asia Forum. My name is Patrick Chase. I'm the Regional Director of Sales for Destination Asia, and I cover the three beautiful countries that make up Indochina, which are, of course, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. And I'm just going to go through some of the highlights of beautiful Vietnam at the moment, one of the best touring destinations throughout Southeast Asia. And when clients travel there, it's generally a multi-center. So the best way for you to remember it if you're not familiar with the destination is, of course, the 5 H's. We've got the capital, Hanoi, the limestone casts and the incredible seascape of Ha Long Bay, the ancient imperial capital of Hue, the beautiful UNESCO World Heritage listed merchant fishing port of Hoi An, and of course Ho Chi Minh City, aka Saigon, and the Mekong Delta. So typically when clients travel to Vietnam, they're going to be visiting 4 or 5 of the H's, and then there are, of course, many other great sites that you can visit in Vietnam. Personally, some of my favorite areas are some of the mountain areas in the north, such as beautiful Mai Chau or the limestone casts at Ninh Binh, and of course, some of Vietnam's stunning beaches. Okay, so let me start with the capital, Hanoi, one of the most interesting and unique cities in all of Asia, I think. It's about a population of roughly 5.5 million now, and it's home to some of the country's most treasured historical sites, including Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum, where you can actually go and watch him lying in state. Not every day, but you can go to see him, and he's of course the father of the nation. He reunified Vietnam following the end of the Vietnam War. It's actually last year was the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, and I think now it's a country really which is very youthful. It's one of the most emerging, powerful economies in Asia, and you can really see that with the kind of atmosphere and the buzz of Hanoi when you go there, whether it's the French Old Quarter or the atmospheric 36 streets. Absolutely must see. And they've got some wonderful hotels there as well. One of our very favorites is the beautiful Metropole. It's a Sofitel Accor property, dates back to the 1920s, recent renovation to the Heritage Wing. That was a very painstaking, drawn-out renovation. It's an old French colonial building, but it's just oozing character and charm. It's the grand old dame of Hanoi, and one of my favorite features of it is they actually have a bomb shelter in the hotel that you can go and do a tour of only as a guest, called the Path of History.
Cool.
So a really interesting, unique experience to have there. But for your 5-star luxury guests, there's no other choice in Hanoi as far as I'm concerned. And then let's go on to the second H, Ha Long Bay. You'll notice a couple of dragons that I put into the slide there. There are a lot of dragons in Vietnam. Ha Long Bay is basically named after the legend of the descending dragon, descending on this beautiful seascape and leaving these thousands and thousands of limestone casts like pearls in the ocean, acting as a defense for the people of Vietnam. It's about 2.5 hours from Hanoi, so super easy to get to, and the best way to explore it is, of course, by boat or by ship or by junk. And Ha Long Bay itself is becoming very, very popular now, being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But it is, obviously, it has a lot of visitors. So the way we recommend that you visit is to do a 1 or 2 night cruise, and that allows you to get a little bit further afield to some lesser known bays like Lan Ha Bay, Bai Tu Long Bay, but whilst also being able to cruise through Ha Long Bay and see those casts. So a really kind of must see overnight junk trip in Vietnam is an essential part of any itinerary there. Just quickly, one of my favorites is the lovely heritage Binh Chuan, which is almost looks like a European kind of Danube river cruiser, lovely steel hull, only 20 cabins, lots of space, junior suites, very good value for money. The owner's actually an artist as well, and there's a beautiful art gallery on board, plenty of deck space. Really wonderful way to spend 1, 2, or even 3 nights exploring this beautiful region. Let's jump down to the central Vietnam, and we'll get to our third H of the presentation, the imperial capital Hue, and then you'll notice Da Nang there in the middle, which is one of the kind of big up-and-coming cities of Vietnam. A lot of people are calling it like the Miami of Vietnam now.
Wow.
And then, of course, to the south of that is the beautiful UNESCO World Heritage listed Hoi An. Out of any of the H's that you see, I think Hoi An is probably, if you were just to see one, this would be the one that you would go to. It dates back to the 14th century. There are influences from the Portuguese, from the French, of course, Vietnamese and Chinese, and even the Japanese. One of the most treasured historic sites in Hoi An is the 14th century Japanese bridge, which is absolutely beautiful. It's surrounded by rice fields and organic farms and mountains, and it's also close to some of the best beaches in central Vietnam. So you can see why it's such a must-see. Every lunar month, every full moon, they also have a lantern festival in Hoi An, where they literally have thousands of lanterns floating on the Thu Bon River, lining the streets. There's some beautiful boutique hotels that you can stay there as well. One of our favorites is the lovely Anantara Hoi An. It's a lovely kind of French colonial property right on the river, just 10 minutes walk from the heritage town in Hoi An. And then let's get down to the south, Ho Chi Minh City. So we've only got time for 4 H's today, but we've seen some of the most important ones, aka Saigon, home to some of the most important historical sites in the country, including the old post office, the Independence or Reunification Palace. Some of you may remember the imagery from the Vietnam War with the tank crashing through the wrought iron gates as the Americans left Saigon, and that took place at the Reunification Palace. They have a Notre Dame Cathedral there, very, very beautiful. And like the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, it's also being restored and renovated. And it's a great place to, do some food tours and get off the beaten track. One of the best ways to do that is on the back of a vintage Vespa. Super safe, low speed. You ride pillion on the back of the Vespas. Last time I went there, the Vespa I went on was dated back to 1969.
Oh, wow.
So a really wonderful way, to imagine yourself on the streets of Saigon in the humid evening air, surrounded by dozens of other motos all around you, getting down the back alleys and seeing some of the best kind of secret food spots in Saigon. This is a way to really get off the beaten track and to really appreciate and, feel the buzz of the city. It's a must-do experience and suitable for all ages. Okay, and the Mekong Delta, the Rice Bowl of Vietnam, this is one of the most beautiful, vibrant areas of the country, the friendliest people. You can do day trips there, you can do 2 or 3 night cruises in the Delta, and it's also the gateway as a river cruise to get into Cambodia as well. Okay, so Cambodia, is really known for the temples at Siem Reap, the temples of Angkor, and it's a really great add-on to any itinerary that you'll do to Vietnam. So a 5 H's, then over to Siem Reap to see the temples of Angkor. But it's also fantastic for its up-and-coming beach areas, which a lot of people are very, very interested in, and the new kind of very cosmopolitan capital, Phnom Penh. So let me start with Angkor. I mean, really the 3 or 4 main temples to see there are, of course, Angkor Wat, one of the largest religious monument in the world. And then, of course, the famous Face Temple, the Bayon, which forms the centerpiece of the great ancient capital of the Angkor civilization, Angkor Thom. It's just one temple site that's 9 square kilometers to give you an idea of the size of this archaeological site. And then, of course, Ta Prohm, the Tomb Raider temple, made famous in the movie Tomb Raider, starring Angelina Jolie, who remains a very, very strong advocate for Cambodia. She was just out there just a few months ago. So how do you enjoy the temples? I mean, obviously Angkor Wat sunrise is a really, really great time to see it. These 2 pictures were taken by one of our guides, Miss Makara. She just got married, by the way, to one of our operations assistant. His name is Mr. Taxi because he was born in a tuk-tuk. But she got a great picture of this young macaque enjoying the sunrise at Angkor Wat, one of the iconic experiences there. But another thing to do is, of course, Ta Prohm Temple. And one thing we really like to do is to help people avoid the crowds a bit by doing another early start. So go to Ta Prohm early in the morning while everyone else is watching the sunrise at Angkor Wat, and you've got a UNESCO World Heritage Site all to yourself, a fantastic way to see it. The floating villages are also a great thing to see in Siem Reap. Really interesting culturally, and Kompong Kliang is one of our favorites. And we've got a great new, intimate, exclusive DA food tour that we're doing in Siem Reap with Srey Nu, who's a great friend of ours who does a market and cooking class with your clients. And we've got some really, really great feedback from Goway clients traveling there. Just a quick look at one of the best boutique hotels in town, the beautiful Jaya House River Park, an absolute must-stay for anyone in Siem Reap. And of course, we can have a very quick look at some of the islands and beaches that we have down in Cambodia that really rival some of those beautiful islands in Thailand, with some really nice kind of 5-star hotels there. Jati, a really great 4-star option that we can look at as well. And very quickly, I think if I've got time, I can take people just through Laos.
Yep.
They have a saying in Indochina that in Vietnam they grow the rice, in Cambodia they watch the rice grow, and in Laos they listen to the rice grow. And I think that sums up the kind of laid-back charm that the land of a million elephants have, and of course very much focused around the beautiful city of Luang Prabang in the central part of northern Laos. One of the best places to go and experience Buddhism. Anywhere in Indochina. They have every morning an arms ceremony where you literally have dozens and dozens of monks in their orange robes filing down the street with locals coming out to give them arms. You can even get involved in that, dress up in traditional Lao garments and go out and give the monks some arms as well. And it's home to some of the most treasured pagodas in all of Indochina and Thailand as well. One of the most famous is, of course, the beautiful gilded Wat Sien Tong in the ancient town. Fabulous place to go out and see the Paku Buddha caves as well. A couple of hours north on a cruise on the Mekong, and you come to this beautiful grotto filled with hundreds of ornate ancient Buddha statues. Cruise back at sunset to finish off the day, and then of course the lovely Kwangsi waterfalls and the amazing Sun Bear Rescue Center, which does a lot of work to help these beautiful creatures and save them and rehabilitate them from the gallbladder trade in Indochina. So one of the most beautiful places out there as well. And there's some wonderful boutique, lovely properties that you can enjoy. Not expensive, sort of French colonial charm in the center of the old town. Or if you want that luxury, you can have that as well. Rosewood, Amantaka, some of the best hotels in Indochina are in Luang Prabang. So thank you very much for your time, everyone. I hope you found that useful.
Yes, very, very much. Now, just a question for you, put you on the spot. Do most North Americans do all three, or is it common to just kind of do one or two, or how does that work?
Yeah, I find that, unfortunately, a lot of North Americans don't get as much vacation time as us Brits or the Europeans. So you'll often find that they'll do Vietnam or Cambodia and Laos, or Laos and Vietnam. Laos actually combines very well with Thailand as well, with northern Thailand. They're doing a river cruise down there as well. Yeah.
Very good. Awesome. Well, Patrick Chase, thank you, sir, so much. We really appreciate that.